So this week we're doing something a little bit different. A friend of mine owns a shop out here in Amo, and it's a two-person shop. But last week his other technician made some poor choices and ended up getting fired. So at least for this week he's pretty backed up, so I'm going to be heading out here all week, giving him a hand diagnosing and fixing some cars until he can get somebody else in there. So a little bit different type of video, more automotive work, a lot of 6-liter power strokes. That's the biggest part of his business, is working on 6-liter Fords. And I used to be a Ford tech, so it's something I'm used to working on. So videos will be a little bit different this week, but still be getting stuff out there. Turn into a 6-liter power stroke here. This truck has a hard starting condition on it. From what we can tell from the scan tool, we're actually not building low pressure oil. So it's taking a while to build up low pressure, which is then going to feed to the high pressure reservoir. So I got the oil filter out of it. I don't see anything in the oil filter housings of concern. So next I'm going to pull the low pressure oil regulator out of the bottom of the motor and check that. They're known to hang up from time to time. Alright, so right there behind the crank pulley, that is the low pressure oil regulator on the low pressure oil pump. 12mm Allen socket is what you're going to need to get that off there. I usually use 1/2 inch drive. They can get pretty stuck in there, so that makes it a little bit easier to get them out. Alright, we got it apart here. Just like we figured we were going to find, the plunger was stuck in there. So, try to hold this so you guys can see it there. All that part down here where it's shiny, it's worn through the coating. It had seized itself in the bore, so this thing was sitting there not wanting to build low pressure oil. And that was what was causing the hard start condition on the truck. So I'm going to get the bore scope out, look at the front cover real quick, make sure that we don't have any damage to the front cover where it goes into. As long as the bore is okay, we'll pick up a new low pressure oil regulator assembly right there, change the oil, and the truck should be good. Alright, so we're back in the 6-liter. We got it together and running, and one of the things that concerned me when I took out the low pressure oil regulator, we lost 7 to 10 quarts of oil, which is not common on these. The oil also looked very thin. But I knew we had a hanging regulator, so we needed to take care of that problem first. So we got the new regulator in the truck. And after losing all of that oil, I'm still reading full on the dipstick, which is a pretty big concern. It doesn't smell like diesel, but it's really thinned out. So as the truck gets warmer, it runs worse. So I've got it warming up right now, and I've got my cylinder contributions pulled up here. And right now what we are suspecting is that we have fuel leaking into the oil on this truck. It just makes sense with the hard start issue, slow to build oil pressure on the low pressure side. The hotter it gets, the worse it runs. A lot of that is explained if we're getting diesel in the fuel, or diesel in the oil. So we're going to keep tearing into this truck, do a little bit more diag, and see what we figure out. I'll keep you guys posted, but it's not an uncommon problem on a 6-liter. We work on a lot of them. So keep messing away with this one, and then after that, there's a 7.3 in Chris's shop that he needs injector cups put in, so I think I'm going to hop on that one next. Looking at a Saturn here. The AC isn't blowing cold. I can hear the compressor is trying to cycle, but when you throw the gauges on it, compressor's off, compressor's on, and it'll shut right back off. So we have a restriction in the system. We're overpressurizing on the high side. Pressure switch is seeing that, the PCM is cutting it off. So, just got to fix the restriction, and this car should be good to go. Got the injector cups out of the 7.3 here, and now we're cleaning the bore out. So I've got a brush on a flexible shaft set up, and I've also got a couple of different style brushes and a pick. And then we use a bunch of long cotton swabs to clean out that hole. So if you look down in there, you've got 2 different parts that need to be cleaned so you can get them sealed. And the worst part about them are, bore scope here, that bottom ring, the outside edge, has adhesive built up where the bottom edge of the cup there seals in. So along this bottom lip, you get a bunch of adhesive. So you take a pick really carefully and just get the glue broke loose out of there. You don't really want it falling down in the cylinder. So I usually put a little bit of grease on the end of one of those cotton swabs, and you have to pull the pieces out as I'm going. But you just want a clean surface all the way through, so when you put the new injector cups in, they seal right and you don't have a leak. So Nothing really fancy doing them. It's really time consuming to get those bores cleaned out, and that's what I've been messing with for the last little while here. You can see some of them. The rest of them you will need to work blind with a bore scope or something like that to get down in there and get them clean. Also, an update on the black 6-liter back here. We believe that it's got a cracked cup in it, and that is where it is making the fuel from as well. That 6-liter back there is actually our shop truck. It's been here for a while. We wiped out a cam and lifter. The engine's out at the machine shop. That one is a customer one that I just started looking at this morning. It's got a hot restart problem. Once you get the truck hot, it'll only build about 200 pounds of high pressure oil to get it running. So we're going to get it hot and do a leak test on there and figure out where it's leaking down from.